What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a beautiful day, and in today's video I'm talking to you about why you should and why you shouldn't buy a house today. Now I know that's a little weird. You're like, why you should and why you shouldn't? I'm gonna explain to you in this video, and I'm gonna give you both perspectives to make your life easier. As we all know, this housing market has been crazy. Literally, that's why it's called a housing crisis. People don't know what decisions to make, what to do. Houses are flying off the shelf, and ultimately it's just brutal out there. And I'm sure that you guys can agree with me, especially if you're looking for a house in this market. So guys, if you enjoy this video, hit that free like button and we're diving right into it. So for many of you who are in the real estate market right now looking to buy a house, you've thought of it, you've decided, you've debated, you've questioned, should I buy it today? Is it overpriced? Should I wait, or should I just make the move? There are so many opinions out there. There are so many opinions from people you may respect who are saying don't buy, others saying you should buy, others saying wait. But the truth is, how long are you gonna wait? In 2017, I was flipping houses in the auction, and I actually wasn't a real estate agent at that time, and my real estate agent advised me and said, you need to take a step back, stop buying houses, the market is going to crash soon. I listened. I waited about 3, 4, 5 months, and then I ended up hopping back in. Now imagine, I lost money waiting 3, 4, 5 months, but imagine I listened and I was still waiting. 2017 to 2021, that's almost 4 years of opportunity I could have been making money. So it's so tough to make a decision because you really can't foresee the future. And with the way things are looking in the feds and the government and the kicking the can down the road, it's like, when is what gonna happen? So I feel with you 100%. I bought my house in December of 2020 during the housing crisis. I've paid for my house. Many can say I overpaid for my house, but at the end of the day, I don't care. And those are the steps that I'm going to be telling you right now on why you should and why you shouldn't. I applied them, I used them, and I actually bought. So let's just jump right into it, guys, and go to the first one on why you should buy a house. If you're like me and you look at a home not like an investment, I think that you should buy it. Because for me personally, when I buy a home that I want to build my family and raise my family and live with my family in, I don't look at it as an investment. When I'm putting in a pool, I don't consider that an investment. When I'm trying to decor things, I don't consider that as an investment. When I try to put carpet or tile, I do what I like, not what's going to make the home worth more when I come to sell. And on top of that, I don't care if I'm overpaying for a house $1 million. If I love it and I can afford it and that's the home that I want, I'm willing to pay for it. So I do not look at a home as an investment for me personally. I know other people do. I don't. So if you're like me and you don't look at it as an investment, I think that it makes sense to make that move. But you have to listen to the rest of what I'm going to share with you because all of these tie in together. You can't just take that and run with it. You got to listen to the rest of the video to make it make sense. Now, on a flip side, why you shouldn't buy a house is if you look at it as an investment. I know some people look at it as an investment. They want to move into it. They then want to eventually rent it out and move to the next, and that's fine. But getting into this market right now, things are overpriced. In fact, everything is overpriced. So if you're going in with the investment mentality of your personal home, you're not going to feel relaxed or good because you will be overpaying. Now, what does overpaying mean if this is the new market that many are saying we're in is considered the new market? How can you claim that that's overpaying? We're just considering it and justifying it based off of 2019 and the start of 2020. If you're looking at it from those years, then yes, you are overpaying. So if you think that your primary home is an investment, it might not make the right sense for you because I think deep down you're going to always regret it because you're going to be like, I overpaid. Even if in reality, you maybe didn't for the area, for the home, or for the time you bought. The next one, which is so important, which I live by, is your finances make sense. And if your finances make sense, that's why you should buy a home. In this market with all this uncertainty, guys, you don't know what's going to happen to your job, to your career, to your life, to your family. You want to make sure your finances make sense. And what I say, if you can move into a home that you just bought for your family and have 12 months of reserves where if things hit the fan and things got bad and ugly and the market took a side turn, then you can survive for those 12 months. I support you buying a home because that means even if things went bad, you can still survive for the next 12 months. And on the flip side, why you should not buy a home is if your finances aren't right. Guys, I know people who are literally taking loans from their brothers, from their sisters, from their parents. I know people who are borrowing from hard money lenders to buy their personal home at a 10, 12% interest rate. I know people who are panicking trying to buy because they're like, it's just going to keep going higher. I always preach this. I say, I would rather pay a pricier price when I can afford it than to pay a pricey price when I can't afford it. Kind of confusing, but very true. I don't mind paying more when I'm more comfortable and I can afford it. I do mind paying more whenever I actually can't afford it today. So please, if your finances don't look too safe or too good, or you don't got reserves after closing costs and buying the home and buying the furniture, don't make the move. There are so many expenses when you're buying a home, literally as simple as trying to set up your electricity or your water, where they charge you an extra $100 for making you the meter or for coming out for the meter. That small stuff is all gonna add up. As simple as your moving costs from your apartment or from your rental house to your new house, that's going to be $1,000+, guys. Many don't consider that. So if your finances aren't too strong, please don't buy a house. I got 2 more parts left, guys. So if you're still here, please hit that like button. It's going to show me that you stuck around till the middle of this video, and I'd really appreciate that. And let's go to the third one. You should buy a home if your lease is about to expire. Now remember, this bounces off of number 1, number 2, and this is number 3. So all these have to align with each other to give you that motivation. Having your lease that's about to expire in 1 month, 2 months, you can start shopping if your finances are good, if you don't see the house as an investment and your lease is about to expire, because it just makes sense. When I bought my home, I had to terminate my lease early and pay 2 months in advance. It still made sense for me, but I had to do that. Other people aren't able to break their lease unless they pay a heftier amount. So make sure that if your lease is about to expire, it makes more sense for you to buy a home. But on the flip side, why you shouldn't buy a home. If you just started a new lease, I know people who literally signed a new lease 1 month in and they're texting me saying, I want to buy a home. And I'm like, how long do you have left on your lease? And they're like 11 months. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, why do you want to buy a home? What's the reason for that? They're like, well, you know, interest rates are low and the market's really hot and it might keep going higher and it just makes sense to do. And that can all be true, and it all depends on their finances at the end of the day. But if their finances aren't too strong and they're just trying to make the move and they're really not ready and their family's not ready and this is just off the blue, I don't advise it. Stick with your lease, because now you have lease, you're going to break your lease, now you have closing costs for your home, now you have moving costs for your home, now you have a ton of expenses, your down payment, maybe things that you don't even know about or are aware about that'll all tack on and just make it more expensive. To break a lease, guys, 2 months of rent in this current market could be $2,000, $4,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, depending if you're in a higher end apartment or house. It's not cheap. So please, if you got a longer lease, it gives you opportunity to figure your life out. Don't try to rush out of that. And the fourth reason why you should buy a house, guys, is if you've outgrown your place. You're just outgrown it. You got more kids, you got a bigger family, you want to expand, you need a new office in the house, you need more rooms, you need more this, and that. You've outgrown your place and it now makes sense. Your finances make sense, your lease is about to expire. You don't look at the house as an investment, you look at it as a family home that you're going to live in and have fun in and enjoy. And then you just realized that you've outgrown your place. If all those line up together, then it may just make sense for you to buy a home. And we're gonna flip it one last time. Why you shouldn't buy a home is if you haven't outgrown your place. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense to go into a bigger home. More square footage, more utility costs, more maintenance, more property taxes, more property insurance, more headache. Maybe it just doesn't make sense. Maybe you're just 2 people and all you need is 1 room, 2 rooms. Why go buy a house with 3, 4, 5 rooms when it's just gonna be empty, wasted space? So if you haven't outgrown your place yet and the other 3 things don't check out for you, then it just doesn't make sense for you to buy a home. All right, guys, there you have it. Those are my 4 advices why you should and why you shouldn't buy a home. If you enjoyed it, if you valued it, if you took away something, please hit that free like button and hit that free subscribe button. I upload every single week and I'd appreciate you being there for all my videos. And most importantly, share this with someone you love. Hopefully they can take away something from it just like you did. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And for right now, I'm out.